Okay. I'm going to call the order to a public hearing of City of Washington on April 12th, 2021 at 6:30 in the council chambers. Tonight's agenda on this public hearing is ordinance number 5-2021, an ordinance for additional appropriation of the City of Washington, Indiana. Does anybody in the audience have any questions on this ordinance for this public hearing?
This is just basically an accounting thing, right?
Yes.
Get it in the right spot.
We needed to appropriate the money that we are awarding to the small businesses for the
Yeah, the grant money that the city got, county got one too, but we had to do this to clean up some stuff and get it in the right.
Did you say we'll stop doing it this way when we do the grants?
Yes,
Okay.
we'll be doing it this way.
Everything's
Okay.
got a special,
So you'll see a lot more of it.
Okay.
so that's for the 250,000 that we got for the small businesses for COVID relief. Okay, anybody? I don't hear any questions and any concerns. Any councilman, you got anything else on this? Anybody? Okay. Hearing none and seeing none, I'm going to call this public hearing closed. 6:32. Okay. Call the order of the City Council Common Council meeting April 12, 2021. Can we have a moment of silence for our victims, our veterans, and our COVID-19 victims, please? Thank you. Pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have roll call, please?
Councilman Lunsford. Here. Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Grass.
Here.
Councilman Campson.
Here.
Councilman Emmons.
Here.
Councilman Dahl.
Here.
Councilman Showalter.
Here.
Okay, all here tonight. In front of you, approval of the minutes of the March 22nd, 2021 regular meeting in front of you. Does anybody have any questions or concerns on these minutes?
Make a motion to approve as written.
Councilman Gress makes a motion to approve as written.
Seconded.
Second by Councilman Dahl. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, thank you. All right, written presentation of the claims in front of you tonight. Yes, sir.
Looks like we got a lawsuit. We paid the insurance company some money or something.
Which,
320, Trident.
right in?
It's our reimbursement of our deductible,
Is that-
as I recall, yeah.
okay. I knew it didn't look like it was very much.
Yeah. Well, they're paying as they go. It's the law firm that represents the insurance company bills the insurance company, and then they in turn bill the city.
Yeah.
So we fought a suit then, is that what we did?
It's
Everybody did?
we paid a deductible, yeah,
Okay.
to defend it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't see anything else.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions on these claims?
I'll make the motion and move into the.
Councilman Emmons makes a motion to send them to the Public Board of Works for approval. Okay, second by Councilman Lunsford. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, next we got any comments by the members of the public other than what's on the agenda tonight? And we'll have on the agenda later, I mean, what I think you, here in just short. Anything else by anybody? Okay. All right, next we got a SIDC presentation, a letter from the DCEDC requesting COVID small business grant relief funds to be awarded to 3 local businesses meeting the criteria, and they request a letter from the city to Okra, and draw number 3 for the same fund. Have a motion to
I'll make a motion to approve.
read this?
Read it as title only.
Okay. Councilman Shore makes a motion to read this, and then Councilman Kempton seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
All right, this is the right one, and then I'll.
Yes, yes, yes.
Dear Councilman and Mayor, the Small Business Relief Grant Committee for City of Washington has reviewed and determined the eligibility criteria listed by Okra for the Small Business Relief Grant due to COVID-19 has been met by small businesses in Daviess County. The program eligibility determined for funding is listed as follows. Program eligibility must be an established business located in Daviess County, Indiana, must be a for-profit business or organization. The ability to demonstrate that funds will be used to retain permanent jobs, of which at least 51% are held or would be made available to LMI persons. Ability to demonstrate that funds will be used for working capital, operational expenses, and/or to support remote work for business during the COVID-19 economic downturn. The committee voted on March 30, 2021 to submit the following businesses for funding as requested. Eligible employers: Kavanaugh Lawrence and Lawn Care and Home Maintenance, $5,000. Top Notch Boutique, $5,000. J&R Transportation, $5,000. At this time, we respectfully request these grant funds be awarded to the above named recipients. Documentation will be required as determined by Okra at the time of receipt of funds to employers. Thank you, Daviess County Economic Development.
Okay, Michelle with SIDC couldn't be here tonight. This is another draw off the money that, for small business relief that we're talking about. It's based on employment, so these 3 are eligible for $5,000 apiece.
So do we need to approve it? Is that what this is about?
Yes, we approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Councilman Compton makes a motion to approve this,
I'll second it.
and Councilman Shore seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
How much money is left in there?
That's 15, it should be about 100 and a quarter, probably.
145.
How much?
145.
Okay, 145, okay. I was just guessing, I knew, yeah, very good, thank you.
We're still getting a lot of applicants?
They've getting a few more here lately. This is 3 that was lingering, and they're coming in slowly, but we still want to encourage people to, to use this.
Is there any limit to how long we have to get rid of it?
Yeah, I think this is just good till the end of the year, December 31st, I believe. There's several of these going out. There's different ones, but this one here has got that time limit on, I believe. Okay. No other questions? All right. Resolutions. We got one resolution tonight. Reading the resolution number 4-2021.
I'll make a motion to read that.
I'll second it.
Councilman Campton makes a motion to read this ordinance. Councilman Showalter seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
That was Dahl seconded.
Huh?
Dahl.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got, that's
It's
good.
okay. Second.
Councilman Dahl seconds that thing.
Resolution number 4
The mask, yes.
2021. Resolution authorizing the filing of an application to the Indiana Department of Transportation for a grant under sections 5311 and 5339 of the Federal Transit Act as amended. Whereas the U.S. Department of Transportation is authorized to make grants to states through FTA to support capital operating and feasibility study assistance projects for non-urbanized public transportation systems under sections 5311 and 5339 of the Federal Transit Act as amended. And whereas the Office of Transit of the Indiana Department of Transportation has been designated by the governor to make sections 5311 and 5339 grants for public transportation projects. And whereas the contract for federal sections 5311, 5339 financial assistance will impose certain obligations upon the applicant, including the provision of the local share of project costs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Washington, Indiana, 1, that David Rhodes, Mayor of the City of Washington, Indiana, is authorized to make certain certifications and assurances. and be empowered to enter into an agreement with NDOT for the provision of public transportation services within the city of Washington. 2, that David Rhodes, Mayor of the City of Washington, Indiana, is authorized to execute and file an application on behalf of the City of Washington, Indiana, with NDOT to aid in the financing of transit assistance projects for fiscal year 2022 pursuant to sections 5311 and 5339 of the Federal Transit Act as amended. 3, that the Transit Department of the City of Washington is authorized to furnish such additional as the Transit Office of the Indiana Department of Transportation that may require in connection with such application. And 4, that David Rhodes, Mayor, is authorized to execute grant agreements with NDOT on behalf of the City of Washington to aid in the financing of operating and capital assistance projects for fiscal year 2022.
Okay. Tonight we have Chuck Martindale here with the Transit, Indiana
Okay,
Federal Transit.
thank you, Mayor.
It's that time again.
This is the annual resolution that the council has passed for the last 40 years. This resolution, well, NDOT has set aside, NDOT Transit set aside for the Washington Transit System about $100,000 next year, 2022. It's about $86,000 federal and $29,000 state to reimburse the city for the operating expenses of the transit system for 2022, calendar 2022. As you may recall, last year we received a grant of CARES funds for 2021, and NDOT, well, the FTA, Federal Transit Administration, through NDOT, will reimburse the city for the cost of the transit system this year 100%. And we're still waiting for advisement from NDOT as to whether or not, if any funds are left over, we'll be able to have those 100% reimbursed in 2022. We have not heard that yet. So this year, everything up to about $160,000 is going to be reimbursed to the city for the operating expenses of the transit system. Also, for this year, we're going to receive another new bus, and I think about the third quarter, isn't that right, Brian? About third quarter. And that'll give us a 2020 bus we got last year, a 2021 bus this year, and then the 2010 model that we already have. We are in the process of disposing of a 2008 model bus that the transit system's been operating since 2008. We'll be putting that up for bid in public bid in late April. We're still through in the process of the 30-day comment period where the state has put it out. If any other transit systems, the other 41 transit systems are interested in it, they contact Brian and see if they want to buy it from the city. So that's basically where we're at. And be happy to answer any questions I might be able to.
This question probably be for Brian more than you. Are we back up to full schedule on the buses?
Schedule,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I meant
We're
schedule.
not full ridership.
But not full ridership.
Yeah, the pandemic's really hit the ridership big time. And Washington's not alone. Every transit
Yeah.
system is.
Yeah, it was tough. It was some tough decisions, and we got it back on a regular schedule here a month ago. And I thought that would help, because we had a couple situations that it really helped with.
So, and it's, they're cleaning the buses daily. We're requiring masks, and the driver wears a mask and all that. So Brian and his team is really safety conscious when it comes to this whole thing.
Yeah. Any other question for Chuck?
Chuck, will this money that's coming in 2022, will that come in under the CARES Act as well?
No, it'll be a separate, it'll be like the old system where it was 50% federal share and 25% state share up to the amount of the allocation. So if there are any CARES funds that are carried over into 2022 next year, we really don't know yet whether or not we're going to get reimbursed 100% of that. NDOT is still waiting on FTA advisement on that. So we believe there may be some left over depending upon the actual expenses we're seeing this year, but we don't know right now. It's possible that a good percentage of expenses for Washington Transit for 2022 will be reimbursed near, say, 90, 100%. Don't know. It'll be up to $115,000, we know that.
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve that resolution.
Adopt this, okay,
I'll second that.
Councilman, okay, Councilman Campton makes a motion to adopt this, resolution. Councilman Shorter seconds it, all in favor? Or David again, David, I'm sorry. You guys need to change, switch masks, so I can hear you. Okay. All right,
I abstained on that one.
okay. Councilman Shorter abstains, okay. Anything else? Okay, it's adopted. Thanks, Chuck, for coming down again.
Thank you, members of council.
I don't know if we did. Did we vote?
I don't think we voted.
Oh, we don't. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstained.
And then Shorter abstains. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that's just something we have to do every year. Now we got two ordinances. We got final reading of ordinance number 5-2021.
I move we read that by title only.
Councilman Dahl makes a motion to, by title only, and Councilman Lunsford seconds it, right? All right, Campton. I'm sorry. Raise your hands. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
Ordinance number 5-2021,
We never had this.
an ordinance for additional appropriation of the city of Washington, Indiana.
All right. Any, do you have a, can we have a motion to
Make a motion to approve.
approve this? Councilman Gress makes a motion to approve this, and Councilman Showalter seconds it. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Lunsford. Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Gress.
Aye.
Councilman Campson.
Aye.
Councilman Emmons.
Aye.
Councilman Dahl.
Aye.
Councilman Showalter.
Aye.
And I'm passing around everybody sign that.
Everyone
Okay.
sign it under the I column.
Yeah. Okay, this ordinance will be approved. All right. Well, and then we'll pass that around for everybody to sign, but we'll go ahead and move on to introduction of ordinance number 6-2021.
I'll make a motion to read that ordinance.
Okay, Councilman Campton makes a motion, Councilman Emmons seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Tim?
Ordinance number 6-2021, additional appropriation of the city of Washington, Indiana. Whereas it has been determined that it is not necessary to appropriate more money than was originally appropriated in the annual budget. Now therefore, section 1 be it ordained by the common council of the city of Washington, Daviess County, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the funds named, and for the purposes specified, subject to laws governing the same. The fund name being City of Washington Highway 50 Center Construction. The major budget classifications all being from the 40,000 capital outlays. And the amount requested, $1,325,000. The amount to be approved, $1,325,000. The totals would be in the same amounts, passed and adopted by the Common Council of the City of Washington, Indiana, this blank day of blank 2021.
Okay. Beth, you got anything you want to talk about on this?
This is, we've been awarded $1.325 million for right-of-way for this intersection of the highway. You see the award letter from the weeks ago, so we need to appropriate it and award pretty much the same as the one we have now. We will pay them to get reimbursed from NDOT.
Okay. Any questions for Beth on this ordinance? If not, this ordinance will be up for adoption at the next council meeting. And that's everything on the agenda, but other business. On the other business, I put this on here. I just want to say this is on the noise ordinance. I just wanted to, we're not going to get into a big conversation on this, but I did want to bring it up because I want everybody to know we are still working on this. It's very important to us to keep working on this. Tim's been under the weather a little bit here lately. We've not had a chance to talk to him except till today about this, and we're going to continue trying to tweak this ordinance or do whatever we think we need to do for this, for the citizens. But I want to remind you, this is a noise ordinance for the whole city, just not this location where we've been having a little bit of trouble down there. I think Clyde was here tonight, and I seen Joey's here tonight. I don't want to get into a big argument. I have my chief of police has been doing a lot of research on this, and he's continuing. He's been keeping me abreast. We're really trying. I think both sides are really trying to come to solve this, but it's been a challenge. So I'll let you guys speak a little bit, but we don't want to get into a real long conversation on this. But I want to let you both know that we are trying to work this out, trying to come to agreement. So you.
Okay. Well, it's like this. I believe in God. I believe in heaven and hell. And I believe in law and order. I believe in money and power, which I don't have any. But that's beside the point. But I think there's a law that says disturbing the peace is a 24-hour law. And if somebody rattles their pots and pans too loud, if someone calls and wants the police to handle the situation and kind of take care of the situation, that's what this law is about. And there's another law that's called an ordinance that takes care, comes in effect at 11 o'clock at night, and they're supposed to turn their noise down. But I've got to say this. Me and Joe has had our differences. And he's told me to keep my nose out of his business, and I've told him to turn his music down. And I know he's got to run his business, and I want him to. And I want to say this about Joey. He has turned it down quite a bit. He doesn't have them real deep basses anymore. And it used to, when he had that deep bass, I was a block away, and it made my insides bother me. But he doesn't have that anymore. But, and I appreciate that. So I just want to say that.
I appreciate that.
But anyway, there's still a problem with it because he has it down still quite a bit, but he can still turn it down a notch. When I'm laying in there and I'm trying to get some rest at night, 10 or 11 o'clock or whatever time it is, even though it's down, I still hear it, and it's a hindrance or a bother to me, And I know, like I said, he likes his music loud and everything. But they have these devices they call electronics. And you can hook them up to your jukeboxes or whatever. And they have earphones that have the same frequency as this outfit. And you can put these on, and you don't have to disturb nobody, and you can turn it up as loud as you want to if you want to blow your eardrums out. Or you can turn them down, and you can talk to the person next to you without all this noise. And you don't have to do no hand signaling or nothing like that. And I'm just mentioning that to Joe. It might be cheaper than putting so much money on insulation, and maybe he don't want to turn that down too much, but he can turn it up if he's got this device. He can charge so much at the door when he has things he can charge for that and making some extra money that way, to pay for the device. And I'm just saying that. I don't know whether he wants to do it. It don't make any difference to me whether he does or not.
Yeah.
All I want is the volume turned down a little bit more. It doesn't have the deep bass anymore, but it still has a lot of noise.
And,
And when I'm over there trying to get some rest at night, or anybody else that's got to go to work around there, that's a hindrance to them. And,
and we're still looking at this.
Along with Joe, because I know he's got to make a living.
Yeah. we're still looking at this ordinance, but, you know, we are taking a look at it. We thought we needed to look at it, see if it needed to be revised or whatever, and we've got a lot of, you know, we talked to Joe, and Joe's done a lot of hard work.
You know, I appreciate Joe.
I don't think,
He hasn't been what you call nasty to me, and I haven't been what you call nasty to him.
I appreciate
We
that,
just had this little problem here.
yeah, yeah.
And
I-
I think he knows what I'm talking about.
We're trying to get through it. Joe, you got a few words, you know, say anything?
Yeah, I just appreciate you guys still working hard to get this problem solved. Just once again, not trying to tell you what to do. I know you guys are looking into it. I do honestly think for Clyde too, we need to, the nuisance thing, I mean, it's always just gonna be a problem if we don't look at it.
Yeah.
He's gonna have something to say. I take everything that he says and I try to do something, and we never got one complaint this weekend. We had a band and we had a DJ, so that's a good thing for the weekend. But all I can say is I really pushed this decibel thing. I mean, it's a simple deal there. I mean, you set a decibel. If I'm over it, I'm in violation. If I'm not, we're fine.
And we're looking at that hard, and we
I
got
know you are.
Chief Devine looking at meters and trying to get some information on it, and even trying to get one down here so we can try. And
Well, I just want to say one thing about them meters. My ears are my meter. And if I'm hearing it, and I'm a block away or half a block or how far away I am, and I hear it, I think it's too loud.
That's what makes it difficult, though.
Yeah.
Everybody's meter is different in their ear, that's what
Yeah,
makes it
exactly.
difficult. I mean, that's why we need to try to find some sort of,
Yeah.
I
But
guess,
I mean, I get it, Joe, he's got a problem, and I got a problem.
The
And
only
I think we can work it out some way or another.
Yeah, we will. Not that Chief hasn't been doing anything, but, you know, I've been searching this just probably as hard as you are, because, you know, they got better things to do than be down there, on weekends for complaints and stuff. I've looked at Evansville's, Vincent's, Jasper, they're all 75 decibels.
and we've been looking at those
Yeah,
too.
Absolutely. And I know you're working hard, and I'm not here to complain or anything, I'm just here, you know,
No.
to show that I've even added more, I've even added fences around my returns and AC units and stuff like that to cut that even more, so I've got the soundproofing, plus the privacy fence going up, and, one's already done. We tried it out this weekend. Like I said, we had 0 complaints. I was wanting to try the other 2 if it still was super bad. But Alvis,
Yeah,
my next
Alvin.
door neighbor outside the west wall. I was sitting outside, he stopped real quick. He stopped outside, he come up to me and he said, "Hey, you're doing a lot, I want to help you." So what he did this week, tore that whole his wall out, moved those windows, re-sided it, and put the 4-inch insulation in there. And like I said, we were 0 on complaints this weekend.
Well, he told me today that the noise was still just bad after all that work he did. Now, that's what Alvin told me, and I thought he was gonna be here tonight. But, you know, I haven't been feeling good, and I haven't called the police or anything. And
So
the
it's not
reason
got
why
any-
is because, I haven't wanted to go out, and they know what the problem is, you know, and I haven't been up to go out and debate with them.
So the work that we've done this week hasn't cleared up anything
Yeah,
then?
so, I mean, you know, I appreciate everything you can do, you know,
That's fine.
but, you know, there's such a thing as getting along.
Oh, yeah, I'm always gonna.
Was you able to reach out to him today?
Huh?
I asked the chief of police to,
I called him a couple times, he did return my phone call.
Was it me?
oh,
No, Alvin.
Oh,
He said Saturday night, he went to bed super early, he didn't hear the music, his wife did wake him up saying it was still too loud, but they did not call, I guess it was not time to call, but they still heard it.
but I noticed, Friday night, You didn't have any music, so well, I think you had to cut that or something. And last night, I heard it.
Saturday night. Yeah, we had a band Saturday. Friday night, we just had an acoustic guy, so yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't hear
It was just my in-house speakers and him playing.
Yeah. I mean, we still want to work hard at this and try to come.
Yeah, because the thing on the bands, it's hard to turn down a band. Like, when you're playing music, you got a volume right there, you can turn it down. Bands, you got to turn down amps, you got to turn down monitors and everything. The thing what I said Saturday, when the band got there, I said, listen, we're not going to mic up the drums. It's a small area in here. We're just going to play off the beat of the drums. You hit your drums, we're not micing them up, we're not going through an amp or anything because it does make it super loud. Last weekend we had a band from Bedford. Like I've always said before, I'm just going to give you straight facts. I went out there. I've been taking everything and trying to stop it at 1, just like I've been asked to, and that's fine with me. I was shut down just a little bit early, but that was okay. It was 12:15. I agreed to it because I went outside. And the way he had his monitor right by the return before I put up the fence, you could hear it clear as day. So I even thought it was loud. So I was definitely okay.
Well, I just want to remind everybody that, our ordinance that we have in place right now still states 11, but, so when we catch something at 12:30, I think the police ask you to turn it down, turn it off, shut it down.
Went ahead and turned it off. I stopped them at 12.
We might, that's something we're going to look at, that time, but right now, as it sits right now, we still have an ordinance in place that has 11 o'clock on it.
Well, with me, I don't care if you play music 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I guess,
But I would like to be able to have my own peace.
after speaking with you
That's all I'm asking for.
Sure.
a couple weeks ago, we had talked like the 2 o'clock deal, and then I told you I was meeting with Joe. I asked him 1 o'clock, try to give us some time. Can we nip it in about at 1? So he moved his bands around. I feel like once again, he was doing above and beyond, moved the band around, was gonna shut it down at 1, and then, I don't know. if the-
Well, like it's,
didn't get moved or info to them or what, but then they still shut them down at 12:15, 12:30. I guess my question is, is this a situation where we keep going about the way we are? Do we break down into a smaller group that can meet a time or two to try to get to a?
well, we asked Tim to look at it. Tim's been, ill and stuff, so he just got back today to look at it. So and he was in Florida on vacation. So when all this really took place, he was in Florida. And time he got back, time I waited on him to get back, we just now getting to talk to him about it. So
I just didn't know if.
we got it. I feel like we have to go by what we got in play. But I told Joe, I said, if.
So, and when something comes up, what is the normal protocol? Do we break down into a small group to try to get something?
Well, that's one approach. I mean, we've done that in the past with things like the golf cart ordinance and the big trucks parking on the roads. I mean, we've broken into, we've had smaller committees work on problems like that and try to come up with solutions. The food trucks, that's another example. That's one way to go at it. What the mayor's proposing here, and I agree with, is work within the ordinance that we already have. If we want to go another route, if we want to do something that's more, objective, then we're going to need decibel meters. We're going to need training for probably all the officers, because they're all going to have to respond to it from time to time. And, there's going to be some expenses there. So he's going to need to appropriate some money and address the problem that way. And I'm not sure that doesn't open a whole new can of worms. That's my concern. Things like that have a way of having unintended consequences, collateral damage. As the mayor's saying, we're not just addressing the problem down on West Main, West Van Trees, West Walnut. We're addressing problems. We're going to have, evangelical meetings during the summer that are gonna get loud. We're gonna have, drawings again that are gonna get loud. We're gonna have, you know, the summer social that gets loud. All these, anything that we, you know, add to the ordinance list now is gonna affect a lot of people, a lot of different events.
Yeah.
That we wanna tread carefully.
Yeah, that's what I
I
said, you
think
know.
the solutions are what they're talking about is working it out amongst themselves to the point that everybody can live with it. That's what I think.
Is there more than, just our problem there? I mean, is there?
Not right now, no. Not right now.
Your stuff that you're talking about, Tim, wouldn't that all be over by 11 o'clock before the ordinance even starts?
Most of it.
Okay.
But you also have, and in that ordinance, you would have exclusions, which would exclude something that's approved by the Board of Works. So that would be a way around that, because they have to come here and get approval to do certain times. So that would be a way
Yeah.
around that.
Yeah.
I think that, and I've been on this council way too long to know that we've talked about this forever. And there's always an issue that when someone starts this and they start doing bans and stuff like that, we always say we gotta change this ordinance, but we never do. I think for the police department's sake, in my opinion, you know, even from experience, that we have to have something written down for them to go by. I mean, he said it. Everybody's hearing's different.
Yeah.
If we have a set number that the police officers go by, then there's no question of whether or not that's an issue or not.
I totally agree with that. That's why I'm pushing for the decibel.
And we're looking at that. I knew this wasn't gonna happen overnight, and we don't want it to string it out for a long period of time either. But I feel like we do have to look at it, because this is an ordinance that's gonna be for the whole city, and not 1,400 West Van Trees.
Here's the only thing.
Or West Walnut.
I know you don't want to stay on this very long. You've already made that clear.
I think we'll have more opportunities later too to talk about this even more.
Right, it's just, right now, I mean, I'm doing everything, and you guys see that.
We know it.
And I know you appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate the one when you turned that boom box down, that's good stuff.
But when, I
Oh, that's
don't know how to say this, I mean, and I'm not saying it to be an ass or anything. I'm just saying, you know, the longer we wait on this, is the more I have to push bans away, the more I have to improvise, and it kind of costs me money. I mean, I'm trying to do what, you know, my people, my customers want, and I know you're working hard.
And we're gonna try to do this as quick as possible, honestly.
First time I was on the council, Leo and I worked on the sound ordinance. And I don't think we had one until then, but we worked on that. The difference for us, and right now, is we were before air conditioning. Everybody had their windows open.
Yeah.
You know, everybody cried because the
Yeah.
neighbor was too loud.
Yeah.
So, one last question, Tim. This before, I read an article where you had actually told the council or something that the decibels need to be set. They would never win in a court of law. And I'm not trying to bring that up into my favor or try to use that against anyone. I'm just saying, on my behalf, I have nothing to go off of. All I have is spending money trying to buy material to benefit my neighbors. I have nothing to go off of.
Well, you got
So
neighbors.
if you come down and you tell me it's too loud, well, your nuisance might be totally different than my nuisance. I just think the nuisance ordinance is just, it's too much of a gray area. It's just
Very vague.
It's too vague.
But a bit, yeah.
Very bad.
I mean, and then when you come down and tell me that, of course, my mind's going, I don't want to shut down, I don't want to lose my customers, so I spend more money to try to
Well,
fix the
and
problem.
again, personally, I think there was probably a conscious decision made to keep it vague, so that we didn't overstep our bounds into areas that we didn't want to get into. That's my belief.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure, but I think that's a pretty good guess, you
Well,
know.
yeah.
I would say that's probably what.
Yeah.
And the timeframe's the only thing really we got to go by on this ordinance we got in place right now. It's the biggest thing we got to go by is the timeframe, because otherwise, you know,
Right.
it's your opinion against
Exactly.
my opinion, but the
And the one that
timeframe's the
does-
only
And right.
solid.
Timeframes
differ in other cities, other jurisdictions.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So, we're,
Most of them that I've read, the ordinance is basically 11 to 7 too. Even some bands that I'm bringing down,
yeah, even Evansville,
yeah, from Chicago, what I wanted to do outside before the hour of 11 o'clock is that they were the ones that gave me the idea to use your outside facility and then move everything inside. So, but what they were saying to get to the point is theirs was 11 to 7 too. The only thing about that I just want to bring up, that, you know, on a Friday and Saturday night, if you're going to have live entertainment or anything at all, it would be hard to start it at 6 or 7. You're not even off work, showered, and have dinner with your kids or your family. Most people just don't go out until 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then, you know, for an hour, it's not worth it.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
What kind of, I know you used your decibel on your phone. What kind of decibels are you pulling at 11 o'clock?
When we start, bands vary. We've never went over the 75 decibel that the other counties and cities. We, on a band night, they're a little louder outside.
Inside, outside?
Well,
I don't
it
know.
varies, probably.
well, they all state point of complaint, meaning so Alvin or George here, you would go inside and, what?
But
But you would go inside and, you know, shoot the decibel for point of complaint. Outside, it varies. We had a band last week, I think it was. I was pulling anywhere from 54 to 63. But if you went right outside the west wall, right by the return, where he had his monitor, I was up around 75, 76. And it could have, on some songs, could have been even worse. But since then, I've put a fence up. But that's what I'm talking about. That one return, a lot of stuff is leaking out of it. So that's my focus point now, getting that completely shut off, because I've done everything else. All the walls, all the perimeter, and everything else is done. And that's mainly on bands. I think we have it under control as far as the DJ stuff, but the bands, that's gonna be the problem. But I'm gonna tell them, they're not gonna turn their amps up. They don't need to. And they're not gonna turn their amps up, and we're not gonna mic the drums, because there's no point.
well, I don't want to say you haven't made a big difference for you,
Well, I appreciate it.
but
I mean,
A little bit more? All right.
I mean, I'd like to see us go in a direction of changing the ordinance. I mean, that's what I'd like to
that's what
see.
I'm wanting, that's my whole focus.
Definitely, but I don't wanna rush into it.
That's right.
Just because we're having this problem.
Right.
I don't wanna rush through an ordinance.
Right.
In some respects, the best ordinances are the ones you don't have to use,
Right.
because that means they're working.
Well, you know, and to finish this, I want the council to, you know, let us know, reach out, let us know what you think. I mean, I'll be glad to, you know, whatever we need to do. Form a smaller committee, whatever we need to do, but we're moving towards this, and I'm gonna continue to move towards this and try to come to a conclusion on this. Because, you know, I think it's important. But the only thing I said to Joe a long time ago, the only thing I said, just try to keep all the citizens, you know, be respectful of the citizens that are down and around you. That's my main focus is, no matter what the location is.
And it does seem
well, I'd
like,
like to know about that law, about the disturbances, you know, that disturbing law. You know, what's that? I mean, you know, if somebody's banging their pots and pounds too loud, somebody calls in to complain about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, you've got, I hesitate to use the word, but you've got criminal laws and you've got civil laws. I mean,
Well, that
you
contains a
can
lot of-
sue your neighbor for a nuisance, for a noise nuisance, and you don't have to have the city enforce that.
right.
You know, you can do that on your own.
Well,
That's
I
the
think
civil, that'd be the
Joe
civil
about it.
law.
Now, like last summer, they wasn't playing their music so much in their tavern, they was doing it over in their garage. And they was playing it real loud, and I went over and talked to Joe, and he did turn it down. Or the friend of his did, I don't know who it was, but they turned it down
Mhm.
to please me.
Well, any complaints we get, we're gonna look at any complaints we get, no matter what they are.
Sure.
Because that's what we're supposed to do, and we will continue to do that.
So my last question, and I'm done. Moving forward, as you guys try to work hard and fast on this, or take your time, but, you know,
Yeah.
efficiently done. Do we stay where we're at?
I think we have to.
If he calls and the other one calls, they come down.
And if they come down
their
and you do what
discretion.
you can to be cooperative, and, you know, I mean, for the moment, that's all we got to work with.
So are you saying
So
11
so their
p.m.?
discretion, whether they want
Well,
to give me a citation.
it just,
That's the
That's
ordinance.
what I'm
That's what the
asking.
ordinance
The ordinance
says.
says, are we gonna enforce it at 11? You know, or are they gonna
Are
wait
you-
till midnight, 1 o'clock? I don't know.
Well, they play up to 3 o'clock, which I don't care. I don't care how long they play, or how many hours they play around the clock for, if I'm concerned.
well, I mean, we don't know until there's a complaint.
Right.
So we always encourage, if there's a complaint, we have to take care of the complaint. The PD gets a complaint, we have to take care of it.
I only had the one
I was
complaint.
excited.
If we don't get a complaint,
Zero calls, I thought.
we don't know about it. Because I'm not gonna get, you know, nobody's gonna go down there and say, I mean, we gotta know about it to fix it. I always said that.
They are patrolling, listening for.
If we don't know about it, we can't fix it, or we can't deal with it. So we're gonna address this. We are gonna try to, and I'm open to any suggestions from the council to how you wanna do this.
When I talked the last time to the chief, they have money for meters, right?
We'll find money for meters. I ain't worried about
The
that.
meters that I've been pricing, they're about $600.
Yeah, we'll make that work. That's not gonna be a problem.
Just my opinion
But
to
he
you
was-
is I think we need to.
And he was trying to get them. He went down to Evansville and he looked at one and then they, you know,
I do have another company, One Stop Meter down in Evansville, he's working on getting a demo in. We're hoping it's gonna be in Friday, so I can have it this weekend. It did not come, it still has not come. As soon as he gets it in, I'm gonna go down and pick it up, so I'll have it for, I think, 2 to 3 weeks to try it out, get used to it. See if it's something we feel like we could go with, if it's easy to train other officers on, I mean.
yeah.
I guess learning to do it myself, you know, I
Yeah.
want to fill it out.
Well, we got a place to test it.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you're more than welcome to mine. The soundproofing company that I've got all the vinyl and stuff for, they sent me one of the top-notch ones. It's down there.
Does it
More
do
than
bass
welcome.
also though? Because I do appreciate you.
BNC.
looking into that.
So basically, when you do, well, you want to talk or?
Yeah, from some of the research I've done, there's an A reading and a C reading on some of these meters. The C reading, they're saying captures a little bit better of the bass, and the A reading is the overall sound. That's about as much as I know right now. Still gotta do some digging on it.
That's it. He's right. And that's what the sound company told me, and they both have A and C on it. A is your like highs, like me talking to you. C would be the
bass.
You know, yep. And,
Well, we're
I
gonna,
have two, so you guys are more.
we're gonna work on this and yeah, we're gonna continue working on this and we're open to any
And,
suggestions.
Chief, whenever you spoke with people like at Evansville or Bloomington, have they had any difficulty enforcing any of those ordinances? Has there really been enforcement?
Ben says that it's unenforceable, the decibel meter. They wouldn't explain it. Their chief, actually he just came back as their chief. He says it's unenforceable, but he wouldn't go into detail with me. Evansville says they have no issue. I mean, it's on who you talk to.
Yeah, okay. We'll keep you guys abreast of what's going on. I mean, and we'll see if we can.
What
Move
I can
forward.
do, keep putting up with it.
No. You can, call.
Call after 11
That's all, call. That's all I can say. If we don't know, nobody tells us, then we don't know what's going on.
Well-
So, I don't know.
It's like this.
I can't tell you not to
I
call.
don't want to cause no big problem for Joe, but when I'm trying to get some rest, I still don't like to listen to it, it's annoying.
We gotta try to be reasonable, yeah, and we try to keep it reasonable,
I might have to walk away.
I know.
And I'll never be mad at you. If you feel like
Oh,
it's
no,
too,
no,
if you
no.
feel like it's too loud,
No.
make the call.
Okay.
That's where I'm protected as far as,
I don't want you to
when
be
when it's,
mad, man.
no, I'm not. I mean, if you feel like you can't sleep, then that's fine, but just always know it's officer's discretion.
But we do appreciate you guys coming, and we will keep moving forward on this. We'll try to get well, we're gonna try to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank you.
And, all right, the only thing else I had, I just want to let the council know on our paving, our street paving, our first round of street paving, we finished up today on our first round. We did several streets and some patchwork, finished up even a job that we encumbered the money from last year because they didn't get it done last fall, and we even done that street today down in a special part of town. Did you notice that today on the side? You didn't see that?
Doug's driveway?
No. But we got the Jackson Street done. I was glad about that. It looks good. I went down on my way home tonight to see what was done, and Second Street, and a bunch of them up around the Campbell's Hill area.
Well, I just want to thank you all.
You're welcome. So we got that done, and the other thing is the highway, as you notice, is coming along quite well. All the lights are up. I never get through it. I've got to go through there. It stays dark so late, and I don't get out no matter what they say. I don't get out 10, 11, 12 o'clock anymore. And not being on the fire department, I don't get called out. But yeah, it's going good. They told us today on that little update that he sent us, sidewalks and 3 driveways probably be done by the end of the week. And I mean, I think we're still scheduled to pave next week. I mean, we'll see, but it's coming. We're coming along quite well.
They gotta get the curb in place before they pave.
Yeah, and what we had here tonight, and you'll hear it here in a minute at the Board of Works, we was able to do some additional work to the west that me and Brian, we talked to him, and we were able to take that in on this project in front of the Anglo-Land and in front of Rhodes Automotive, curbing there, and pick up a piece out there by Doc Phillips's place on that
By Park Road.
travel lane there, yeah. Brian, you got anything on that real quick?
Well, on the spot at Bakery House as well. You know, put that storm with it, and then do the gravel thing.
But, you know, so we was able to pick up a little additional work on that and still being part of this project, so I'm really glad about that. So that's it. I just want to bring you up to date. There's all kinds of percentages, but we're moving right along. I'm very excited about that and getting this project done. It's looking good. Okay, Councilman Grass, you got anything?
Only thing, did the railroad decide to do anything with 11th Street?
They told me, and I talked to the owner, they're supposed to be coming and fixing it, because he said, we will not just forget about that. He said, I guarantee you, we're gonna fix it. Because he said, I'm the owner of the company, and he said, we wanna come back in the future and do more work for you guys. And he said, we won't let it go.
There's some big scratches already where people have been hitting it.
Yeah, oh, I know, I got concerned, and I thought they would have fixed it last week. I do still have in my phone that one guy I talked to, Jeff. I mean, we can reach out to him and see, because that owner told me himself, he said, you know, we're not gonna walk away and leave you.
It's gonna be a little tough.
And that's a real bad area anyway on 11th Street, and we have 3 other streets I told him about I wanted him to look at.
That's the worst one.
Yeah, Maysville Road, 7th Street, yeah. So, no, they're supposed to take care of it. I'll reach out to them and see what they have to say. Keep on them, okay? Councilman Dahl?
I don't have anything else.
Okay.
The other neighbors that have called in and complained, they just don't feel like calling, they don't think the police do enough when they go, that it just, they go there and listen, they leave, you know, back.
Well, that might have happened once. But
I'm not
yeah.
dissing on police, but that's just.
I don't think that's going to be a pattern by no means. They've been very good about responding, and you know they're in a bad situation too. But we have to.
That's what they're asking.
I think if we have a complaint, I think we have to go by what we got in place right now. If we have a complaint. Okay, yeah, but we need to know. I mean, yeah, I know you don't need.
They just feel like they're.
Yeah, I know.
Their time too.
It's okay. We'll try to keep trying to correct it. Okay, anything else?
No.
Okay, Alan, you got anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I mean, the highway, I think that's looking great. do have a question. How far are we going with the sidewalk? I saw that they're now working on the Angle property. How far are we going with the
Well,
sidewalk?
the sidewalk stopped. The sidewalk, that's curbing.
That's just gonna be curbing.
Yeah.
So the sidewalk is gonna
There's-
stop right there at,
Seventh
Seventh
Street.
Street.
7th Street, right, Brian? Right? I want to make sure I was right.
still not understanding why we would do that.
What?
Stop it there and not,
Just
at least
go
go,
to the city limits.
at least go to the
Well-
shopping center.
Money.
Yeah,
The big thing.
yeah, that was the big thing on this project. It was the money. I mean,
Well, but the big thing is that manhole, or that catch basin.
yeah, they're in that by the angle.
Right.
And then on the other side of the road, you got Rhodes Automotive, and, you know, I know we have a right of way there, but really that's, that's just all concrete there. I don't know.
I just think that,
But mostly money on the
I know
project.
money's an issue and stuff. It's a little bit easier here. They can just go down on the other side. But, like we had the issue going to Walmart. We're
Yeah.
gonna create another issue there where we're stopping a sidewalk and there's a shopping center right there.
Yeah.
Granted, the shopping center is not full and it's probably not as busy and people don't walk there as much as they walk to Walmart. But I think when we start doing these projects, we create problems like that, we probably need to maybe look at a
Well,
little bit, maybe just doing every other right or something. I don't know. And maybe.
yeah, I was, yeah.
So, I mean, that's just my complaint with it. But it's doing great, and it's a little rocky start as a property owner
Yeah.
with some communication from
Yeah.
them, but that has worked out fine, and they've been doing a great job since then. And it's really, I mean, I think it's gonna be great when it's done.
Yeah.
The sidewalk at the end just kinda throws me.
Well, just for the record, I came in office, I inherited this. I didn't have nothing to do with this project prior to this. So I did have to see it through. But it's, I hope maybe sometime, maybe we can look at it, part of our projects, city projects, and I don't know, that there is kind of a couple areas of property it's gonna be a challenge.
I mean, it's just kinda like whenever we allow somebody to build something, we have a rule that they put a sidewalk in, but we say don't put a sidewalk in, just put it in when we need it. Well, I think
Yeah.
they just put it in. I don't care if someone complains about a sidewalk to nowhere, but, we put sidewalks in at the roundabout and they go nowhere, so I
Yeah.
think that.
No, I don't
they're
think,
required.
not go nowhere is not a problem. I
Yeah.
just think it's, right now, it was, on this project, it was definitely money.
I did see somebody walking on that the other day.
You got,
Did you?
you got anything? You
I'm
got
good,
another-
I'm good.
You
I'm
good?
yeah.
Tim, you got anything?
I got nothing.
I
Doug?
received a complaint, it's not my job, I don't agree with it, but something needs to be looked into. They said, the trash can down at Tacos on Oak Grove Road, if you pull down that
Dumpster.
side street, and if you're at the stop sign, you cannot see.
Mm.
But you do have 10 foot to pull up and see, so, but that's not my call. So I'm bringing it to your attention.
Can we look at it?
Like I said.
I don't know
when
either.
you are
I've been
at that
down there,
stop
but-
sign, you cannot see, but you do have 10 or 12.
We asked
When
that,
the stop sign was installed, there wasn't a Walmart Supercenter right next to it, so
Yeah.
now there is.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I got the complaint, I'm not saying I agree with it, I'm just asking it
Yeah.
along.
we'll look at, we'll,
That may be zoning board's fault because
I was getting ready to get into.
when the dumpster was originally placed between the building and the house to the east of it, it was in that area, and we had complaints from those
Okay,
neighbors.
I was gonna say, all you'd have to do is
And
move
we
it
asked,
10
we
foot
asked them
east.
to put it.
That's to move it to the north part of the
So he
property.
did what he was asked to do.
He did what we asked him to do.
Yeah, they came in, I heard about part of that process, and yes,
So he,
I knew about that.
Like I
it
said,
may be
I-
our fault that it's there, but he put it where.
We'll look at it and see. We don't want it to be a traffic hindrance
And I'm sure he
at the stop
doesn't
sign.
care,
Yeah.
and again,
I'll leave that.
it's only when you're at the stop sign you can't see. You do have plenty of room to pull up
He's very convenient.
and look,
Okay,
so.
we'll look at it.
Anyway,
We definitely will. We'll look
that's all
at,
I have.
okay. Randy,
I'm good, thank you.
Darren,
Just checking in, I meant to talk to you about this morning, the Bedford Road project.
yes, and I talked, two things. I was told, and I'm gonna talk to him again, our guy does a lot of our work for us. He said he goes, I can fix it. We got the thing, he said, I can fix that. And I said, well, do it. When you get a chance, do it, because he's got a lot of projects, but I said, he said, I can fix that, and, you know, and, I said, okay.
So is that who?
But it's not what Ed and them was talking about. He said his idea was not what Ed was talking about. But it's on my list that we're gonna get that done. But, I mean, we know one way or another, we're gonna make part of that is when that road was put in, you know, Chris Berger does a lot, he says that road was put in, that created a lot of problems when they put that little driveway in.
Right.
So, he's got an idea, he said he knows how to fix it, and I said, well, fix it then. You know,
So is there?
a time frame,
Anything I can do to try to find out a time frame for the people?
depends on the weather, and if we keep getting some projects, I mean, we got it on the list, we don't put it way down, I mean, he's got a couple things to do, I mean, I like to say a time frame, but I really don't know. I'll keep you abreast of what's going on.
Okay.
We'll try to work that out.
Okay. All right.
Beth, you got anything?
Just one thing.
All right.
I just need to remind the council that are on the city insurance.
Yeah.
The blood draws are this coming Friday, the 16th, and Tuesday, the 20th.
Yes.
They'll be out at the community building, so there'll be plenty of room to space out.
Yeah.
They start at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
They'll go to about 9.
Yeah, 7 and 9. Yes.
And if you aren't able to do that, either of those days, you just need to call the treasurer's office or Maryland at Thompson's, and we've got paper for you to take to the hospital that will tell you what to do as far as your
But they did put a deadline on that. If you decide to go that route, you got to do it by the end of the month.
April 30th.
April 30th. So anybody, any city employee, any retirees, spouses, anybody that's on our insurance program. 16th and the 20th.
Yes, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Community building.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Anything else? Is that all you have? Okay. All right, anything from the audience?
Mayor and Councilman Brown, we can request a proposal for sidewalks out there by the engineering company if we like.
I mean, I would be interested to see what they cost. And if you have drainage issue, I mean,
you know.
There would be two unintended consequences to possibly doing that. One, the window of opportunity for E&B's schedule for this paving is closing. All these things that we've added, all these different projects we've added on, now we can, we're doing the curbs past roads and past Angle Inn. That's shrinking their time to pave. The second thing is the money there's enough money in the fund, but most of that's gonna get rolled over into the center section contingency money, so it just basically shrinks your oops money for the center section project.
And that's on the books, and this other's not on the books, so yeah.
the center section, you're gonna need more hoopses.
Yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen there.
Things that you'd have to consider.
Yeah, and so, and I don't know what the property is, if you can do a sidewalk on both sides, it might be tough. I mean, there's some property there that's got some challenges along there.
I think even if you just do it on one side.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I was thinking too,
The side of the shopping center would make sense.
But, we try to get it up, but we can, put that on our,
If we extend it, we'd have to change the 88 corner at one or both sides of 7th Street. It'd have to be converted into an 88.
yeah, I'm gonna talk to you about that 88 corner, because I've been seeing some around town that, what is, once, they're not all straight across like we was talking.
No, they're not.
I mean, I've seen one here and there's not one there, across the road from it. I mean, I've noticed some, I think, man, that one's not like that. So, okay, Richard?
I'm not your road engineer, Nick is.
Yeah.
But I have attended the monthly meetings.
Yes.
I think the issue that's gonna happen, Brian touched on it, I think the reality of trying to get that in now with E&B's paving, they've got it scheduled to get it done here in the next week or two, and it hasn't crunched them.
Yeah.
If you delay them anymore, they're gonna leave town.
No.
You don't want that.
No, we don't want that to happen.
So I think the reality, I understand what you're saying, Alan, and we can get a price, but I don't know if it's gonna be realistic. And I don't think you wanna hold up your paving.
But if we're already putting the curb in, then you're only gonna do the sidewalk, which wouldn't interfere with the paving, right?
Pardon?
I
No,
said, if
I
we're
mean-
already putting the curb in, then we're only gonna do the sidewalks, we won't be interfering with the
No, I
pavement.
mean the pavement where they're getting ready to do. We
Right,
don't,
if we're
yeah.
already doing the curbing
If the
there,
curbing's in place, the
we're only gonna deal with the
sidewalks.
sidewalk, right?
Curbing's not gonna go all the way to the shopping center though. There's existing curbing
Yeah, we just took,
on the north side of the road, but
yeah, we're just
the
replacing
sidewalk
that.
would Go in with that existing curbing.
Would that be a
They
problem?
paved and did it after the fact.
Would that be a problem though, to get sidewalk in on the existing curb?
Well, you can't if you have the ADA.
It wouldn't be
Yeah.
impossible.
And all this is already, yeah, so I mean, we just had to
That's kind of why I
plan it.
said it about a month or two ago, but.
Well, I just had to plan it. It's just for,
Yeah, and I don't mean to complicate, but I just think it's gonna be tough. But
it's gonna have to,
Brian, he can check with Dick and see if we can get it done, but I think trying to coordinate it's gonna be tough.
yeah.
When the original concept went between the city and NDOT on the entire scope of the project, and we went for everything, and then it was cut back, it was not a $30 million project on planning, and it got cut back to 24.
It was
That sound about
30
right?
million, again, I'm going off my memory,
And
and Nick drove this.
Some of
but-
these things that we're talking about are the things that got cut to get it to 24 million.
That's true.
Yeah.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the problems that COVID caused, because we didn't have the updates. I mean, he gives us that update that he reads, but that's not like a community meeting like we were gonna have. We were gonna have meetings
Yeah.
with business owners and stuff, and that did not happen in this part of the project. In the next part of the project, hopefully it happens, because there's a lot of businesses there. Because I didn't have any invitations to any meetings for business owners or for people that have property along there to discuss what's really on what's gonna happen on the plan, because what's on the paper isn't what they ended up doing. They made a lot of changes to what was on the paper. I mean, Marcus told me that, and they were gonna try to make a change they made a change in front of my building, they moved the sidewalk back, and there's gonna be grass, and, so I mean, I really think that the center section, I really hope we have more outreach meetings for the people that have interest along that property, because we did not in this section.
I think it's gonna be very important.
Well, we have progress meetings, but I guess, we don't really, but
Well,
everybody.
not for the property owner.
Yeah, so
And I just so happen to own property,
we,
so I kinda.
we'll try to, make sure we have it, we live and learn. So we'll try to make it better.
Well, obviously, Ryan, we don't wanna hold up the project, so,
No.
I mean, if it's,
And I
that's
don't-
what that causes, then, we just have to chalk that up as a lesson learned, and sidewalks to nowhere.
We might have to work it on some of our other project, I mean, I don't know, we'll see. Okay. Anybody else? All right, not hearing any, seeing any, I'm gonna call this meeting adjourned, thank you. All right, call to order of the City of Washington Board of Public Works Safety Meeting, April 12th, 2021. Approval of the minutes from the March 22nd, 2021 regular meeting in front of you.
I move we approve those.
I'll second.
Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve. Need a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Reading the bank statements and donations, if any.
The bank statements for the month of March have been balanced. Balances in the total accounts at the end of March, $30,632,183.71. Interest of $3,932.37. Yes, that's pitiful.
I have to get the other papers out and see if that's
We had a
any
couple
better.
of donations, I think $200 this last month or two
Okay.
for animal control.
Okay.
That's all we've had so far.
Okay. Okay, any questions on those for Beth? Yeah, I'll have to look and see if that interest, it's probably not went up much lately, has it? The interest. It's not got any better lately.
No.
From the
That's not
previous
good.
months.
It's not good anyway.
No, it's not. Okay. And moving on, discussion and approval of the request from Bill Dobson Ford to close South Street from Meridian Street West to Southwest 3rd, Southwest 1st from Main to South Street, Southwest 2nd from Main to South to the tracks for their annual Customer Appreciation Car Show on Saturday, June 5th from 8 to 3. We've done this before I came in. We didn't. I don't think we had it last year because of COVID, but we've done this. This is a little bit different than what we used to do. What I've seen done before I took office.
It's a little bit bigger area.
Yes, it's a little bit bigger area. I do have a little bit of concern on Second Street because it's going to the tracks. We used to shut South Street off, and I had no problem shutting South Street off, and First Street wasn't no problem, but Second Street goes through, and then you go down to Third Street, and it goes through too. Then you don't have nothing until Maysville Road. They was asked to be here tonight? Oh, yes, we got a representative, yes.
Yeah, because we're expecting more people, and in the past, we've filled all that area up, so, I mean, we're expecting after COVID and whatnot, more people, so gonna need more space.
Yeah, and you know,
Everything's bigger this year, I mean, everything I've been to, I mean, has been.
there's not really any residents along there. I mean, nothing's there going that way to the tracks anymore. They
Well,
used.
you got Bill Brown's building.
Yeah.
Really there, so.
I guess you probably talked to Bill before, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, about this. And then you go down there and you got the schools got their building down to the other corner, and there's really not much there. Can we not, on 3rd Street down there, could we not go up to that intersection and not include that intersection on 3rd? Is that, I mean, are you gaining, would you lose much that way?
We could probably shut it off there at 3rd.
You know,
Yeah.
and then,
Right before
and that way 3rd Street, because I don't think you're gonna gain that much on 3rd Street itself, you know. I'd like to see, that'd make me feel better because you'd stop it right there and 3rd Street would be open and then you can use 2nd like you want.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. That's just,
I recommend we approve that.
okay, we'll make a motion, David makes a motion to approve and Nita seconds it with the stipulation just to close it right there and don't include that intersection in. That'd be great. Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Discussion approval of pay applications for various projects. First, we have the pay application for pay application number 9 for Don Gress Construction, Business 50 Water.
It's in the amount of $14,778.94. Basically, all that work is paving, sidewalks and or paving that was in the project. We've reviewed it. VS's Inspector Merck, he has reviewed the quantities and I reviewed them with him and recommend payment to Don Gress in that amount.
I'll make that recommendation.
Okay, Nita makes a motion to pay this pay application. David seconds it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, next we have pay application number 9 for our construction, WW Treatment Plant Project.
I'm gonna go ahead and do 9 and 10 together.
Okay,
9
all right.
was submitted on March 18th. It is for work on the original project through the end of February. They failed to submit one at the end of February and mid-month. They submitted it. It's in the amount of $12,965.40. Pay estimate number 10 is in the amount of $119,777.91, and that represents the reduction in retainage down to $10,000 that you previously approved. Both applications are in order, and we recommend payment of both 9 and 10.
I move we approve those.
Okay, David makes a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
And need a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And then we have a letter to Okra that we need to go ahead and approve, that expressing consent for SIDC to submit claims in the amount of $59,202.63 on the behalf of the City of Washington for the WW Treatment Plant Project for pay applications 9 and 10 approved.
I move we do that.
Okay. All right, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve it, and need a second, so all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. And now we have pay application number 1 for S&S Filter, Water Treatment Plant Filter Media Replacement Project.
Yes, it's in the amount of $70,394.05, and that represents the painting of the existing equipment in these filters. That's 95% of the work complete, less the retainage for it. We reviewed it and recommend payment in that amount. They are in the process now, start to replace the media.
Yeah. Was that the same firm doing that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought they're doing both parts of it, okay.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
All right, I'll second that. Nita makes a motion, I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, pay application number 9, Don Gress Construction, Business 50 roadway. That we decided we wasn't bringing these to, and Tim brought this up to us just recently, about the roadway always went to RDC, and they approved it, and they still will go to RDC, but he thinks this board should also see these on the roadway. And usually the way we understood it on the first 8 we've done, and he said don't go back and redo them, but he said from now on let's do those roadways, RDC, and the Board of Works. So that's what that's all about. As you see in front of you, is for this is for Don Gress.
Yeah,
For-
usually Jeff McDonald's.
Yes.
Goes on for the RDC.
Yes.
And then you approve the payment of the.
It's going to be an amount of
claim.
$294,476.57 is what it's going to be for the roadway part. So we just bring it up, I guess, just to make a motion to approve them. I guess this board will approve these from now on too, because Tim thinks it would just be best for both boards to approve it.
I move we approve it.
I'll second.
All right, Councilman Dahl makes a motion. Need a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
This one will come out of the community crossings, we did some match money in the
Yeah.
community crossings grant, so this will be paid out of that fund.
Is this where you can do it direct deposit too? You don't have to write him a check? Or no?
We'll
still write-
Yeah.
we'll have to wire the money to them.
Yeah, it comes from another source.
We'll have to do it rather than Old National,
Got
because the money is here.
Okay. Okay, and then we got discussion approval of claims that was submitted to you tonight.
I move we approve the bills.
Okay, Councilman Dahl makes a motion to approve it, and need a second. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then we got discussion approval of change order number 3 for Don Gress Construction, Business 50 roadway. And this was what we talked about a little bit, that passing blister out there on the east side of town.
Is that the one we delayed until the gas got moved?
Yes, And then also, this, what we just talked about tonight, out here, bit out west, this extra curbing and stuff, that we talked about tonight, this would be, taking both of those in on this project when they weren't originally scheduled to be on part of this project. So if you have a motion, if you'd like, for.
We approve it.
Approve this, okay. Council Dahl makes a motion to approve. I need a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. And then we have, discussion and approval of Business 50 West VS Engineering Contract Amendment, number 1 on the roadway. Let's see where, this part here. This is for the 224,000, right, Beth, that's just, or what's the, yeah, the 224,000 we just talked about, just,
I'm confused here on this because.
yeah, I gotta look here myself, because on this amendment.
This will also go before the redevelopment because it involves the road portion.
You know what the change is? I mean, we've got the new language, but what the old language is,
Don't
what
have
the old numbers.
And what it says here, it's this, they changed the contract to professional engineering fees from Business 50 rehab from Southwest 11th to Southeast 3rd. And whereas the LPA desires consultants to adjust the compensation associated with the full-time construction inspector. Well, what this is, we're extending this period from, it was like May 15th. They're extending this to the end of June. By doing that, we have to have an inspector on site. And by extending that, so this is to pay that inspector till the end of June, because this project, because of these two things we talked about, that gives them more time. Otherwise, we only had till like May 15th for this project to be done.
So that's increasing it then to 224,000 total for the project.
Yes. Yes. For the inspector.
Right.
Yes, and that's what this is for. I forgot, Nick mentioned that, we had that in a conversation, we've had so many conversations, but that's what that was about, because this project got expanded, and it got expanded time frame wise. You know, I can do it, should I read this amendment, or?
No, you don't.
I mean, you know, I've read most of it, you know, it's, but that's exactly what it means, and that's exactly what it's for. You know, this original contracted date was July 31st, 2014, shall continue in full force and effect. So, yeah, but that's, by doing that, that's what we had to do, and there's more money involved. Yeah.
So do we need a motion?
Yeah,
I'll make the motion.
Motion to approve this contract.
I'll second that.
Okay, need to make some motion to approve this contract number 1. And David seconds, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay, that's all we got on the agenda tonight for the Board of Works. Does anybody in the audience got anything for the Board of Works? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to call this meeting adjourned.